And this story is about a guy named Toysey. Toysey is 86 years old, and Toysey suffers from Grover's disease. Grover's disease is a breakdown of cells under his skin that causes huge blisters and rashes. And when he has this, it can last anywhere from 6 to 12 months. It's very painful for Toysey, and for over 50 years, Toysey has dealt with this disease. He has been to numerous doctors. He has tried everything under the sun, from pills to creams to holistic type medications, and nothing will calm the pain that he gets with these blisters. Toysey was really fortunate to be part of a clinical trial that we're doing in the state of Indiana for Grover's. And the salve that they're making from the birth tissue that's being collected here at St. Anthony's is used for these Grover's patients, specifically Wharton's jelly from an umbilical cord. Wharton's jelly is the gooey stuff inside of an umbilical cord, but it's full of stem cells. Toysey has been using this Wharton's jelly that's been donated from this hospital now for a month. And the first time in 50 years, Toysey has no pain. Toysey is actually, at 86 years old, able to golf, which he hasn't been able to do in several years. Toysey has been able now to actually wear clothing that does not hurt him. So Toysey, when I was telling Toysey about what I was doing today, he started to cry. And he wants to thank you very much for this opportunity to make him feel not so much pain. So because of the birth tissue program here, the first in the state, he wanted to thank you. The other part of the story is Toysey is my dad.
The very day that I went in for my first day of residency, my husband went in the hospital just for a routine procedure.
And that routine procedure was to have a pacemaker replaced. I don't know what you know about pacemakers, but you know often they are in 6, 7, 8 years, depending on the life of the battery. And as a result of that surgery, I developed MRSA. And rather than it being a routine situation, I was in the hospital for 70 days. I lost 68 pounds. I wish I could still get rid of those pounds now. But anyway, it was a very challenging time. And you know, when you're in the hospital for 70 days, you don't just have 2 or 3 doctors. You have a whole team of doctors. And it was a very challenging time. We prayed, my church prayed. And one of the problems was that they would put a pacemaker in me and it would get an infection. And you probably know you cannot take an antibiotic to get rid of infection on a metal device. They have to take it out of your body. And so I had 5 pacemakers put in a matter of weeks. Instead of being in 6, 7 years, they were in a day and a half. And I even had one externally on my body. Well, through this whole MRSA situation, my aortic valve had been compromised. And as a result, they had to replace the valve that I had. And they put a cadaver valve in that was donated from a precious person. And that's 10 years ago. And it's like it never happened in many ways. When I go to see my doctor now, they say, I don't want to see you for 6 months. I usually ask them, is it because I'm ugly? But they say, but I remember, you can imagine how long 70 days would be in the hospital. Long time. And Joy, as she mentioned, she was one of the chaplains at St. Mary's, or St. Vincent. She is at St. Mary's now.
Right.
But at St. Vincent, they had 600 beds in that hospital. And one night, after I'd been in the hospital many, many weeks, I was feeling a little bit better. I knew that she was the only chaplain on duty that night. It was about 2:30 in the morning. And I called the desk downstairs, the operator, and I said, I need a chaplain. And they said, okay, we'll send her right up.
And so when the operator called me and said, there is a patient in 220 that needs to see a chaplain, I said, oh, I know that patient, and he does. He really needs a chaplain. And so I went in, and you know how the room is very dark at night. There's just a light or 2 under the bed to let people enter the room. And as my eyes were adjusting, I looked over in the bed, and I saw this huge smile and this person that I recognized that I love so much. And I remember thinking at the time, bless the family bless the person that was willing to give at their point and to be willing to donate and to give.
And I'm very thankful to be here today because it's a privilege to share my story with you. And I understand there may be some donor families here today, and they really need to know what a wonderful gift their loved one has given another person. There's like no way to express the gratitude that I have, none at all. I have keratoconus, which is a progressive disease of the cornea. It causes it to become cone-shaped and irregular, and it's only correctable with hard contacts. Glasses don't correct this. This is reading glasses like everybody my age wears now. Eventually, the contacts get so uncomfortable you can't wear them, and you could be on the Indiana Toll Road and turn to look this way and it pops out of your eye. So it gets to be a real problem after a while. So my transplant has given me my vision back. And since then, it's been 12 years. I've seen the faces of 5 beautiful grandchildren. I've been able to fully participate in life, drive, and I worked another 10 years. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm retired now from St. Catherine's Emergency Department, where I approach families regarding donation. I have to really think back now to remember how absolutely miserable I was and how my eyes ruled my life before. Years of low vision. I used to dress my son in bright red clothes when I'd go to see my husband play softball so I didn't lose him in the sandbox. I went into surgery on November 9th, 2004. I was at University of Chicago. I could not see the big E on the eye chart in the room. It was blurry. I knew there were things there, but I couldn't. The next day when I went back to get the patch removed, I could see almost to the last 2 lines, and at least the last 2 lines I could actually see there were letters there. That was just, it's just like a miracle how it impacts your life. I'm now having problems again. I think my cornea is reaching its shelf life, and but I'm not worried because now I know how many generous donors and families are out there. So I know when I need another transplant, I'll be able to receive one. If there's any donor families here, then know that your loved one has given somebody such a great improvement. That's right. It's just totally amazing. So that's why I'm here today, to let you know what a great thing this is to donate, because it really improves others' lives.